Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 2. The first match under the Erik ten Hag era that doesn't result in victory on this pre-season tour. And it's a cliche, a game of two halves, but man, was this a game of two halves. First half, we saw more of this impressive Erik ten Hag football that we've seen on the tour so far. Yes, the conditions weren't optimal at the Optus Stadium. We know about the rain, we know about the pitch. The pitch was a mess, and that's not really leading you into doing this high possession, high passing game. But I felt United dealt with it well in the first half. I'm not going to dwell too much on the weather or anything like that, because Aston Villa were playing on the same pitch as Manchester United, and in the second half they dealt with it better, so I'm not going to talk about that. But first half, I thought United were impressive. I think that first goal by Jadon Sancho continued off the goals that we saw against Crystal Palace. Crisp football, 1-2 touch, fine passing, link-up play by Martial to Bruno, to Rashford, to Shaw, puts it across to Jadon Sancho. Fantastic goal. The goal after that, it's a bit of luck once again, but you make your own luck in football. You do that by making chances. You do that by making spaces. If anything, we use the conditions to our advantage there. Torrential rainfall. Villa didn't look like they wanted to be on the pitch at all. And we get a bit of a lucky break for the own goal. So going into half-time, it's positive. And then I don't know. I can't really pinpoint as to what happened in that second half of Manchester United. I don't know if it's overconfidence. I don't know if it's not concentrating enough. I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if it's because Villa changed things a little bit in the second half. I think they switched formation. They brought on Leon Bailey, who absolutely ripped Manchester United apart. He scores his goal by running at Victor Lindelof. Lindelof backs off, and he just puts the ball in the back of the net with a great finish. And you have a look around and say, what happened? What was going on? And progressively, as that second half went on and on, yes, we brought people on. Yes, we changed the entire side. But both sets of players, both groups of players in that second half just weren't there. Again, you can talk about conditions, but Villa played good football, so why couldn't we? We didn't look like we adapted. We looked like we were struggling. You always felt that Villa were at the very least going to get an opportunity, and they did. And that second goal, I've defended David De Gea here on the channel. I'll continue to defend him because I think last season he was one of, if not our best player. He saved us and has saved us numerous times, but I'm not going to stand here and be naive enough or arrogant enough to say that the goalkeeper wasn't at fault for that goal. The keeper should come out when it's in the 6-yard box. You make a decision. If you're going to come out, claim it. If you can't claim it, but you're still coming out, wipe out the players. Do whatever you need to do. If you don't make that decision, stand on your goal line. Don't engage with the person in front of you. And that's what De Gea did. He engaged in the person in front of him. He was distracted with the ball over his head. He had no idea where it was, and it's a simple tap-in. And it ends a game of disappointment. And frankly, it's what Villa deserved. I think Villa would have felt a bit hard done by coming out of that second half if they'd lost the game, because in the second half we really did next to nothing. Again, both groups of players. I think that the positives, and I spoke about this with Marcel, I think the positives are actually possibly the negatives in this game. I think some of the negatives that Erik ten Hag has seen, the real drop-off in the performance, the collapse, if you will, the shakiness of the defence at time, the ability of how easy it was for Aston Villa in the second half to play through us. I think that'll be eye-opening for Erik ten Hag, because we can go through pre-season, we can have these victories against the likes of Liverpool, against Melbourne, against Crystal Palace, and we can be drawn into a false sense of security of we're playing really well, we've got this momentum. And momentum's great to have, and wins, of course, are great to have, but sometimes you do need performances like today. Sometimes you do need some errors like we have seen for Erik ten Hag to say, okay, there is still a lot of work to do, and possibly to point to the Manchester United board and say, look, I need more squad. I need more of an in-depth nature to my squad, because after a couple of players go, and there will be a couple of players that drop out of the squad due to injury at points this season, we need replacements. We need quality in depth. We need people that can come on to change the game. We can't rely on a starting 11 that does look strong at points. We need more people. We need more options. So I think that's the key thing to take away from today's game. Yes, the second half was disappointing. Yes, it's disappointing to concede such late on. Yes, it's disappointing that mistakes led to some of these goals. But the key and the biggest thing for Erik ten Hag will be that today was a big learning curve. He spoke in games where we won the game against the likes of Liverpool, saying that there were mistakes, but we'll learn from them. And I think we have to learn from today. I'm happy for David De Gea to make some mistakes in pre-season, as long as it doesn't affect us in the season. As long as David De Gea is doing what he does best, and that's saving the ball in the regular season, and we're winning games, I'm happy with that. I think I also wanted to talk about Harry Maguire. Of course, got a lot of criticism. I thought he did relatively well today. I thought there was a position where Villa should have scored. He blocked it on the line. Again, Jadon Sancho, that front 3 or 4, very fluid. Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, they're all linking up very well. So they're positives. Donny van de Beek, it was a big opportunity for him today. He replaced Scott McTominay, who had a niggle, and I think people had hoped that we saw a cameo of Donny in the last game where he played well, he got an assist, and he was very instrumental in a couple of goals. But today we saw a largely anonymous Donny once again. And you would say that in these kind of games, you can see the difference between him and Bruno Fernandes. Yes, Donny was playing a bit deeper today, but if you're not getting the ball, if you are making runs, if you are getting into spaces, if they're not giving you the ball, go and find it. Go and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. And maybe that's something he didn't do. So there is plenty for Erik ten Hag to digest. There is plenty for Erik ten Hag to learn. But with the Australia leg of the pre-season tour ends in a 2-2 draw. Now on to Oslo and then back to Manchester for Erik ten Hag.